Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. Today I want to talk about red flags and a personal story of what's happened with just recently. So I think I mentioned on some previous videos how I've got my therapist on board along with kinesiologists, and I've started taking up gym and all the healthy stuff, beach walks, grounding, etc. Meditating, blah blah blah, getting back on track. And it's all about my health and all that at the moment. Anyway, this is about my I just recently, like I said, hired a myotherapist, and at her, so that was some months ago, and at her suggestion I hired her partner, whose name is Paul, as a health support. So I hire him, and he comes out every couple of days, and we do either a beach walk and gym outside. He brings all the equipment, or if it's a rainy day, we go inside the gym and do it's like a PT type session, right? Anyway, instantly it was red flags, and this is the problem with when you're in this TI program. You get to the point where you just don't know who you can trust anymore. Like you get to the point where it's like, is this just coincidence, or is everyone in on it? And you don't want to go to that paranoid phase, because then you end up just hiding in your house and you don't have a life, and that's what they want. So no, I'm doing the opposite. And I'm getting out there. But anyway, so let's go back to Paul. So the red flags were, the first couple of times he showed up and we were doing the beach walk, he'd actually brought a drone with him, and he was just mucking about with his drone as we were doing the beach walks, flying it above us, so we were being filmed and that. So I didn't say anything about that. I just thought, oh, this guy's a bit odd, who'd come to work and bring a drone. But, deep down, of course, there's that, because I have been filmed and all the rest of it. But I'm like, look, they've got me on film so many times, I don't give a crap anymore, So, yeah, that was just really odd. I don't know if it was part of that. Are they trying to see where my gate's at the moment, or what the go there was? But, I mean, if he is part of it. But I'll just give you the rest of the red flags. So that was odd. I let it go. He's always got earphones in and wears meta glasses all the time. So, pardon me. And at one stage he said to me, because I bought some meta glasses, and he said to me, did you know that there's a way to get them to not, like, because when you've got meta glasses, when you put the when you say, hey Meta, take a photo, or hey Meta, record, a little light comes on so that people you're around can see that you're recording them or taking photos. But yeah, he was telling me about a way, and I said, oh look, I don't want to know. I won't be using that. But yeah, so yeah, after about the second session or whatever, I was like, oh, that drone's cool. I said, because there's a mountain in this area that I'm positive it's an old inactive pyramid, and I've been dying to get up to have a look at it, but all the roads are sort of blocked off to it. So I asked him if he could bring his drone so that we can drive up to the end of that road and just fly it up as high as we can to have excuse me, my coughing, I've got a bit of a cold, to have a look at the pyramid. And next visit, he tells me, oh whoops, his drone had gone into the water, dropped into the ocean while he was filming. So I was like, that's unusual. And I just thought, oh well, maybe he just doesn't want me to use the drone for that. So so that's okay. And then so I let that one go as well. Mind you, I've only had him for a couple of months or so this is just only over that short period of time. So as soon as I met him, he starts talking about aware subjects, people who are aware of what's really going on in the world, you know, the things we talk about. And I thought that was odd, because personally, when I, you know, meet someone new, I always test the waters first, you know, like drop hints, you know, to see how switched on they are, and what, whether we're going to be having a normie conversation, or whether I can talk my talk. And but yeah, straight up, he was straight up into it. There was a lot of probing questions. What do I think about this and that? He claims to be a Christian. And starts telling me that New Age is wrong, because I'm very on the page with both, you know, because I have had mystical experiences myself, and so I consider myself to be a Christian mystic, you know. But anyway, so then another thing was, which I thought was quite funny, at one stage he tells me he always thought that he was an apostle, but he pronounced it apostle. And I sort of had an, you know, nod at him, but I had a good laugh about that after, because I thought, if you're an apostle, you would know how to pronounce apostle, you know, apostle. He says apostle. I just laugh. Sorry, I'm still cool about that. Apostle. Another time I mentioned something. Sorry, that's hilarious. Another time I mentioned something about trafficking, and he had no idea what that meant. And I thought, well, if you are an apostle, you would know what human trafficking's about, you know. I didn't delve into the conversation with him, because I already had, you know, red flags all over the place. Anyway, so then he's talking about time travelers, which is something I won't go into it here, but I've had some personal experience, which I'll get into in another video. And so over time, my research will have showed, you know, I've researched Einstein, Rosenbridge, quantum physics, you know, mirror effect theory, etc. So yeah, big GS vibes happening. So I went into prayer and I prayed about clarity. I prayed for clarity, you know. And yeah, so shortly after that, he called me up very early one morning and to borrow some money, as he's short to pick, and he tells me it's to pick up his new rental car. And then so I had a session with him yesterday, and he tells me that the car that he just bought, this is just in passing, he tells me that the car he just bought, he had it came without an attachment for recharging, and so he'd had to go and purchase one. And I said, didn't the rental company give you one? And he looked a bit rattled, because he knew I'd caught him out in a lie, because he told me that he'd bought it, you know. But first, when he borrowed the money, he was telling me he was picking up a new rental car. So he went a bit quiet after that, and off we went to the gym. And after the gym workout, we're heading back to the car, and I'm keeping it light, you know. Don't want to make anything uncomfortable, and just pretended that just flew over my head, but nothing does really. I pick up on a lot. And so I was chatting about, you know, as we're looking for it in the car park, I'm saying about his new car and how it's harder to find, because the old one was blue and this one's silver. And I asked him, as we're looking for it, I said, it's a Cherry, isn't it? The car brand. He says, yeah. And then I start quietly singing, Cherry, Cherry, you know, the Neil Diamond song, as I'm walking along, because it just popped into my head, and, you know, I am neurodivergent, and that's what happens. So we hop in the car and I turned the conversation to the new Neil Diamond movie, asking if he'd seen it yet, keeping it light, like I said. But yeah, there's that cherry theme again. I didn't think about that until later, but yeah, that, you know, in a previous video I told you about the gang stalkers that had the lady had the cherry hat, the cherry pants, you know, made it really stand out. And here's him with a a brand new cherry car. Well, not brand new. It's new, but not brand new. So you will know them by their fruits, comes to mind. Indeed. Anyway, this morning I received an email from the myotherapist, his partner, cancelling services for Paul, but explaining he can still support me at the gym, etc., but under his ABN. So in other words, she's stepping out of the picture. How odd. Strange is the life of a targeted individual, indeed, indeed. So I'll keep you updated on it. I'm going to give him one more go. I've already booked him in for Thursday, so I'll do that off his ABN. Yeah. Another one about so yeah, another one with a new car. You know, they all get a new car. I need a car. I want a car. Where's my car? I'm driving an old bomb. I need a car. It just sucks, the betrayal, you know, over and over again. So I did mention about my brother, how he won a car in a deaf lottery, you know, and ever since I put that video up, which, mind you, none of my family know that I've got a YouTube channel. I only get, I don't know, I'd be lucky to get 20 views on a video. So yeah, as soon as I put that up about questioning about his car and hoping that, you know, it wasn't what I thought it was, that he'd, you know, been bought over, suddenly he's ignoring me. So I have not had contact with him since I have put that up. But yeah, the betrayal sucks. But yeah, that's red flags and you know, the fun stuff that goes along with being in this TI program. Not, of course, I'm being sarcastic. But anyway, you've got to make light of things, you know. But I did get a good laugh out of his telling me he's an apostle. So that's a plus. Anyway, that's it for today, and God bless you all. I forgot to mention that my therapist, it just randomly, her company randomly showed up on my feed one day, and that's how I found her. So was it random? I don't know. Just makes you wonder when you put it all together. And like I said, red flags all around with Apostle Paul. Once again, God bless.